everyone, this is Carolyn from Known as Nutty Crafts. You're not going to see much of me today, just my hands, so that you can see the project better. So let's get going. All right, so the first thing you're going to need is, this is the swag. Everything I have here today came from Hardworking Mom. I will post in everything later on for you, all the numbers. The only thing I'm not sure about, if she still has enough of, is these two ribbons. But for instance, we have this one, which is really similar, you can use, or you could pick up a different stripe one, or if you want to add a solid color, all depending what you want to do. But let's get this going. So this is a 24-inch, but when you pull it all out, and I mean by adding this all the way down, this does come with the loop already up here for hanging. It measures 36 inches. If you don't want it that long, you want it to be shorter, you can always cut it down shorter if you want to, or take off this little tab like that. All right, so you're going to take this and you're going to pull it all apart so it's nice and fluffy, ready to go. All right, the bottom side will be all flat because that's the side up against the door. All right, so what you need for this product, you're going to need the variegated ficus. You need 2 of these, okay, 2 picks. You're going to need the, I'm trying to pull one with the top of it because I cut these up already. Here's the top one. This is the apple, okay, and in her thing it's called the apple leaf, so it's the apple leaf. You're going to need 2 of these as well. Then what you're going to need, now there's going to be 2 different red ones, okay? These red glitter sprays. This is what we call the smaller one. It's called the glitter white ash spray. So you're going to need just 1 of these. Hope I did that right. Yes. Let me rephrase that. That is not the white. This is the white ash. This says the smaller leaves. My bad. Okay, the white ash glitter. I'm so sorry. This is called the glitter vine spray. You need 1 of these. You could see the differences in the leaves. One's bigger than the other. So you need 1 of each. And then this green one, where is the glitter bay leaf. Okay, you're going to need 1 of these. Now, all of these, for instance, on these came a 1 long pick, and I just, where you saw the stem, like for instance like this, you would just cut it off, and that's what I did. So on all the glitter ones. Now when you get into the apple ones, these have, this was the main stem, and sometimes you can turn it around like this and you can see where you would like to cut if you want to, and this is cut it how you want. Now I cut this was the big part up top. These were off onto the side, kind of like things. So I just cut it where the main stem is. I can cut off more if I want to, but I didn't want to have little pieces and then have, you know, wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to do. And I did that with the variegated ficus as well. So the first thing we're going to do, now I don't have any more of all the ribbon because this was a kit from Lori since I'm in her virtual retreat group, and this was the kit she sent. So that's why I don't know if she has any more of these ribbons there, if she just did it for the retreat. So, and that's why I wanted to show you this is something similar, you know, in it, but you can get whatever you want. If you don't want to use holly, you don't have to use holly. So, and I don't know where I got this one from because usually I label it, but it's RGB117727 and it's 10 yards. I might have bought it from her last year. I don't know. I'm going to leave that folded for right now because I'm not going to make this a full bow, but I'm going to show you how I did it. All right, so what I did here, I took my Easy Bow Maker. You can use whatever maker, whatever you want to do, hand it, whatever. And I'm going to make this first one 10 inches. Okay. Then what I'm going to do next is going to do 6-inch loops, and I'm going to do 3 loops on each side. So this is 1 on this side. This is 1 on this side. And then we're going to do that 2 more times on each side. All right, this is my second loop on each side. And each time I'm twisting it in here because this has one side is the wrong side, one side's the pretty side. All right. And this would be my third here. So we have 3 loops on each side, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Then what I would do, because I said I'm not going to make this because I already made the bow, I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to cut this about 7 inches. Okay, so you have a 7-inch little thing coming up at the top. Then I'm going to take a 1.5. Now the 1.5 that she gave us was this one here. I don't know, again, if she has these. She may buy them just in bulk for the craft or thing, and then the retreat. But you can use whatever. I'm just choosing a red one for right now so you can see the differences to make it easier for y'all. All right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it the same length that I did the tail down here. And this time I'm going to do 2. And I'm going to make this 6 inches as well. So I'm going to do 2 loops on each side. And this one too, you have to twist because you could see on this side, you don't really see the little snowballs. You see it on this side, but you don't see it on this side. So make sure you twist your ribbon halfway as you're doing it. We'll do this 6 and 6 here. And again, I have 1 tail down here. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it up here and I'm going to cut it the same length that I did the other one at 7 inches. Okay. Now for the sake of this, I'm going to bring back this bow here, this ribbon here, and I'm going to do it again. 8 inches. And this time I'm only going to do 1 loop on each side. I might not have enough to do this, will I? Yes, I will. And this I'm going to bring back about 5 inches. Okay, let me make this a little shorter since I'm using this scrap piece of ribbon here for you. And this is only for demonstration purposes, okay? So what I have down here will be 2 this length, 1 this length. This one is going to go up top here. Okay, so I'll have 2 long ones down here, 1 short one. Then with the red, what I will do is take a piece of this, 14 inches, cut it. Do I have another red that I can use? I don't. And I'm just going to make a false tail. What I mean by a false tail is you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to cut it 14 inches. And I'm going to use this and I'm going to put 1 up top here and 1 down below. That's a false tail. That's all that it is. Okay. So I'm going to show you the bow that I made for this. Let me get all this out of the way so that you can see what it looks like and I can go over it again. So let me just, if I don't wind these up, I'm going to have a dog in here, my little puppy, stealing things. And we don't want that. Whoops, come here, Pin. All right. So when you're done with your bow, it's going to look like this. These are the 3 that I started with on the bottom on each side. Let me pull this up. So I had 3 in the bottom. I have 1 tail up top and I had 1 tail down below in the beginning. Then when I did the striped one, I have my 2 loops, right? I have 1 tail down here, 1 tail up here. Now on this one, I chose to put both these tails up here. So I have just 3 tails down here, but you can take one of these tails if I wanted to and pull it around and make it down here. But I'm choosing to do it up here. All right, then this was my last one, the 2 loops, and I have a tail up and a tail down. So easy bow to make. Looks really pretty once you fluff it all out, you know, in here. Okay, Now, to attach it, what I did is I pulled up, this is my loop right here. I pulled up these two. I attached it. Now, I used a zip tie to pull the bow together. And then what I did, you can use another zip tie. I used a pipe cleaner. I know you can't really see it, but there's a pipe cleaner in there. And I brought it around once, twisted it again, and twisted it back. And then I cut it and tucked it back underneath. I didn't want to use a zip tie on it, you know, but you could. All right, so that is how we did this baby. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and put all our little pieces of everything in there. Oops. Now, what I did with the ribbon, the extra ribbon that I received here, I went ahead and made these little tails. I didn't dovetail them or angle cut them yet because I'm not sure how long I want them. These ones here, I made at 10 inches. So I have 3, 6, 7 at 10 inches, right? 8 at 10 inches long. I took a piece of wire. I just went in like that, put the wire, and I folded this back like this and twisted it really tight, okay? So these are going to be the little accents that we'll put in here, as you see, to make it a little fuller, give it a little, it makes the illusion that the ribbon is going all the way down. Oops. I had a little bit left over, so these wound up being, what is this, 8 inches. Oops. About 8 inches. I dropped one. So these two are a little bit shorter because that was a little bit extra that I had left over. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to take our variegated first. And I want my big pieces out first. So you can see how I've just cut it off. You see it looks kind of funky on some of the cuts, and that's okay. This is, you know, more towards the top. This was the top of it. See, I had 3 on that. This one has 2. It doesn't matter how you do it, okay? Whatever. So I have 2 piles, again, because I'm more of these person that wants to be more symmetrical. But you don't have to be that way at all. All right, so we're going to start with the variegated. I have my glue pot, which is right here, ready to go. And I'm just going to start at the top. And you want to make sure when you stick it in that you're getting it in the pine needles so that it has something to stick to. And stick it in there. Now I'm angling them down because we want it to come down this way. Okay, I'm going to take one of my apples, and I'm looking for the one that has it at the top. So I have one like this, and I have one over here somewhere. Here it is in this pile. Because this is the biggest part of it. That's why I wanted to use these big ones to get it more full up here. All the little pieces are the ones we're going to add in. Do you need it this long? Not necessarily, but once you put it in, you can kind of figure out if you need to cut it shorter. I think this might be okay on length. Here's the other one. Now, do you have to alternate it like this? No. You could put an apple up here, and this could have been a variegated here. It's however you want to design it. I'm just going to pull these up here. Hopefully, they'll stay up there for right now. And then I usually give it a few minutes, do a little tug, just make sure that it's in there. And then I'm just going to go back and forth between the colors and put it in where I want it to go, and just do that. I think think I want this more on this side. Well, no, I guess on this side. This one's bent a little bit. It doesn't matter really because you're sticking it in there. And I think I'm going to have one of the apple ones. This is a big project, so it's hard. My table isn't big enough for everything on it. Hopefully I didn't drop any of those red ones on the floor. So it's going to be hard for you to see the whole thing. So I kind of want one of these, possibly down here. I'm not sure. I may put a red one or a green one. Let's do that instead of that. And we're just going to stick this in here. Ouch. Make sure when you're sticking it in that you don't run across it, the glue on all the other ones as you're going in, because then you're going to get glue all over your fingers like I just did. And if you don't know what I mean, this is what I mean. You'd have glue on this and you're sticking it in and you hit up against the other ones. And then when you stick it in, your hand is hitting all of that. So the glue is hot, you know. See, I just did it again. So right now what I'm doing is I'm creating my outside. Okay? It's kind of like my little scope. Gosh, that glue is hot too. So if you see it, you can see like I just formed like an upside down triangle going down. We have all this to fill in and still down here. Whew, that glue is hot. Then I can maybe I'll do the variegated down here after all. So we're going to stick this right in here, just like that. So now I have a complete triangle, as if to say, a form. It's my boundary. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, oh, gosh, that glue is hot, guys. It's hot. Let's see, I got some greenery. Let's see which ones I want to use, because I'm making a mess over here. So I have green, the variegated here and the apple here, so I don't want to use the same on top and top. So I want to make sure I get a different color, so to speak, so it's opposite in colors as I'm doing this. My door is opening, which means one of my dogs wants to come in. It's probably Kai. She's the one that likes to open the doors. And I'm going to stick that right in there. You can pull the branches around. And again, you can check every so often. Do you have everything tied in there? Good. Let's come back with the variegated. I think I had a bigger one here. Yeah. And I'm just going to kind of alternate those variegated going down. This is a really long lane. Whoop, don't get that glue on you, because it's hot. And you can see how it starts to fill up as you're doing this. Whew. So as you do it, you can start seeing some holes. So I'm going to hold off on all the greenery. I'm just going to move these over here for right now and just put them in one pile. And we're going to start pulling in some of these really cool glittery things. And again, it's what you want it to look like. Oh, so much glue. So I'm just pulling these down because I want to kind of see where things are going to kind of land. So let me show you so far what we have. You can see. Now I know I have a hole, I think it's right here, where I can add some greeny bead. But let's see if by putting in the other colors, it's going to add a little oomph. All right, so I'm going to start with the green. Just stick it right in there. And I'm going to kind of almost like zigzag my way down. Oop, it's a big glue string. So you can see how it starts bringing it to life as you're adding in these colors in there. One more green, and I think I'm going to stick this one up top over here. Oh, I hit that thing again. Gosh, guys, I should wear special gloves. All right, so now we have our green kind of going down. So now we're going to take our big leaves. Again, choose whichever ones you want to do. The little leaves first. You could do the little leaves. Let's do the little leaves. Why not? Let's move them all over here. Let me separate these out from here. We're going to add in some red. Now, this was all one thing. If you want to cut it off and add two pieces and stick this one in somewhere else, you can. I think I'm going to use one of these down below. This has a lot. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of stick that one right down in here at the bottom. Let's see. Let's see if I want that much or if I want one which is 2. Maybe 2 or maybe 3. Decisions. And for me, I'm going to cut this off, this really long piece here. I'm just going to cut it in half. For me, it's just a little bit too long. That one has 4. I want it to be red down here. Yeah, I think that would look pretty. I'm going to bring some of this up in here. And again, make sure you're touching the pine needles with your stem. Okay. So now, again, just start sticking it where you think it may need to be. I think I'm going to stick one right in here. This one has 3. Maybe in here. And again, take your needles and you can put your needles behind it, you know, to bring the more red up to the top, however you want to do it. Make it part of it. Okay. I'm going to put some up here now. Now these have a little scoop in it. So that's your top. You can see the bottom looks more flat from the side than this. So make sure when you're putting your leaves in that you're putting them in the right way. one of those left over because I got little ones over here. All right, let's add some of these in. And what you can do, if you're from time to time, just hold it up, or if you have a wreath stand, which I do behind me, but when I do this, I like to do it laying down, and I'll hold it up from time to time to see where I need to put something in. I know I need some red up in here. So we're going to take these big bad boys and stick them right in like that. I'm going to look for a long one. Here's a long one. I do need something in there. So see, I got pieces of things. I think I'm going to use this one in here because it needs a lot of something up in there. Although I have greenery, but I want the color. Cool. So again, if you think that's enough, stop. If you want to add more, if you need more greenery, sometimes I'll put it on its side, and I can see like right here, right in here, I have like a hole. So I can take some more greenery and stick it in there. Again, keeping my shape. I don't want to disrupt my shape there. Let me look on this side. Okay. I can see we can use some down here. These are my small ones. Got glue on my hands. This is a project I have a lot of glue left on you. So let's stick some of these up in here a little bit. And this also will help keep the bow up. This one there. One on this side. There we go. And you can see how nice and full it's becoming. So instead of just all the white before, and again, go to your sides and see what you need to do. And that's why I usually pull these up sometimes just to keep it out of my way. Because we have a lot of red. We have a lot of red. If you don't want to use it all, you don't have to. You can always save it for another project. Ooh, that tripped on my arm. Now, I do have two little ones like this. In our bow, let me turn this around. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of these. Oh, I've got glue on my fingers. Move it so you can see a little bit better. Now you can see how fast this project goes. It's not a very hard project to do. So let me just fix my bow a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to stick it in the flowers. Sorry, I got glue on my hair. And all I'm going to do is just take one here, I'm going to take this other one on the other side. They're kind of on a diagonal a little bit over the angle, and that's all I want to do. I don't want to put any of the red things in here or the green things in here, this glitter ones. And I'm just going to push it all the way down so it gets in the center, you know, where your bow is tied. Glue strings. And just push it in. And then you push your bow back. I got glue all over my table. All right. So now we have our little cuts here. We got 3 little short ones, I believe, or 2 little short ones. And then these. Now, like I said, I already put the wire on these. And I said, like I said, all I did was scrunch it up like this, put a piece of wire on. I folded it back like this and twisted it so it was really nice and tight. And we'll go ahead and dovetail these, not dovetail them, angle cut them once I get them in here, because I want to make sure for the length. I didn't want to start cutting them and wish I had it a little bit longer. So 2 pieces of wire. You can use the wire, or if you don't want to use the wire, you can use your pine needle to go ahead and help tie it around. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start wherever I want to start, and I'm just going to put this in here. I'm going to use the pine needle to tie it to. Just go down as far as I want, all the way to the base. And the idea is to make this look like it is part of it. And then I'll twist it around there. I'm not going to cut them yet because I want to get them all set before I cut it. And you can see how it looks like this is part of the ribbon is just coming out. So I'm going to do one over here. Tie it around. And then curl them up like this. And you just stick them in wherever you would like. If you don't like it, that's why I'm not cutting the wire right now, because I want to make sure I like where it is. And the wire is just a thin wire. I think I use this one, which is what gauge? This is 22 gauge. And I just cut little pieces off. One piece of the wire, where'd the other one go? Now I do want a little piece of something in there. Why? Because you can see where I attached the wire to. Oh wait, no, maybe that's okay. Now that I spread it out a little bit. And these are the 2 little ones, which are the ones I would put more down here. So probably the most time consuming on this is cutting everything before you put it together. That's probably the most consuming part of it all. And then once you start putting everything in, it goes really fast. So don't be afraid to try it. You know, I sometimes get a little nervous about doing sometimes these because I'm like, oh, but listen, you could, if you're not sure where you want your leaves, don't glue them in first. Go ahead and just place them in there where you want it. Step back, look at it. And then if you really like where you've had it, then just leave it. And see, by putting it up here, remember I only had the one tail up here, so now I'll have another one. And you can see how it's starting to come. See? And it looks like it's coming up from underneath the tail. You can just take them and go like this to it. And it makes them a little bit more curlier. And then these, I'm going to just angle cut them. Again, you don't have to use every single little piece. If you decide this is enough, then stop. I know I need one here. Oh, I forgot I had this one up here. It's hard to see when you get all the leaves in the way. I got one side of the, where's the other side? Okay, so it goes this way. There we go. I have extra pieces of wire in case I needed them. So let's see where we are. And everything, all these, everything has wire in it, so you can bend it whatever way you want. These are kind of a little bit flimsy. They don't really have wire in them. These are my extra pieces. I have some little ones and big ones. Now, also, what we're going to add, before I add any more leaves or ribbons, throw this away, is 3 ornaments. These ornaments are 2 inches, right? 2 inches? Yeah, 2 inches in diameter. I'm mixing it up. A little sparkle, not a little sparkle green. Why not? You can make them all the same color, whichever colors you want it to be. All right. So I'm just going to take one and I'm going to stick one somewhere, wherever I want. And I'm going to kind of do this on a zigzag, format. I think I want that one to be down there somewhere. Let's put green here. So that means red goes over here. And again, I use binding wire. You can use the 22-inch gauge wire, whatever wire you want. I use binding wire on these. I just threaded it through. These are glued on, so they're not going to come off. I got glue all over my nails. If you want to put more balls in here, you can. More ornaments. And again, you can thread. Where's that piece I had? You can take your pine needle and thread it through here and bend it in if you want it and just have it at the tip. Or if you want it to be a little bit more looser, like these are going to be, use the wire. Either or. So I'll do this one up top here. I'll take the wire off and I'll show you. So I can just take it here, thread it down in here. I'm going to put glue. Evidently I missed that one. And I'm just going to bend it. And it's done. I'm just going to take this and just put a little glue around that one. I thought I got them all. Bam. And then I can put it however I want. All right. So that's one way to do it. I'm going to do it with the wire though. Now if I can get this back off. There we go. And you can do the same technique like that, like if you're doing a wreath, and you know, you have your, either your pine needles or your pipe cleaner sticking up, you can stick your balls in that way as well and tie them in. All right, where's my other side of the wire? Don't want to get the leaf in there. Make sure you tie it tight on there because you don't want it sliding off. I gave it a tight twist with my fingers. Again, I'll cut that in a minute. Where did my green ball go? Oh, here it is. So I think I'll stick this one right in here. Find one. Could you put bigger balls in here? Yes, you could do whatever you want. If you want to make them all a bunch of smaller ones, you can do that as well. It is your choice. Okay, and I'm going to put this one where I have my green one. I'll put it right in here. Okay. Let's pull out all my little ribbons again. I got them all tucked in there. So you can see how it's come to life. Let me hold it up. Can you all see it all? It's kind of hard. This is a big one. I'm going to see if I can get this to stay up. It may sink because I'm on my other, I may have to hold it up. So that's what it looks like. Now I can see right here where my thumb is wiggling, I have a hole. So I do want to put something in there. Let's just take, I'm looking for a small one. I can cut one off. But I'll have twos. Well, we'll use it. Why not? Now the other part is too, I want a little something behind the bow here. So that's why you can use some of these smaller ones, cut off, whatever. I still have two of those. I have another small one. Yeah. Well, we can alternate. Just make sure you're not going to put it. You know, I had that loop to tie everything on with. So just make sure you're not going to put it on there. see, that kind of brings it all around right here. And sometimes when you look from a different way, you can see, like, I think I need some greenery in here. I keep pulling this one from here. What's nice about the variegated, because it gives you two different colors in there, so it's not solid. This little bush seems to always get hidden. I want it to come a little bit more to the top. Have a few of these little ones. We'll stick them back here. Oops, upside down. I may not see them as much, but it does give a little color back there. So where do we have a lot of green or not a lot of green? And see, I got a big hole right in here. So the greenery helps fill all that in, which is what's nice. So depending if you need something as big as this or you just need a little piece, I think just a little piece. And see, now that hole is filled in. See, I could put greenery right up in there. I'm going to cut this. Oops, glue is hot. See, another hole right in here. Out a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And I think I want to stick a red one in here. Red's the only color I had left, so I can't stick any other color in there. We have one of these big, let's do a little one. See, right in here. Let me cut my wire here. And when I cut the wire, I'll just take it and bend it back around the branch. There we go. All right, let's take this little baby and stick it right in there. And that's all you do. You just go back and forth, see where things are, where you have a hole, where you need some more color, some more greenery, or another tail. Got two tails left, so maybe I'll stick them out on the sides here. around. There we go. Again, it looks like it's part of the bow. Let's this baby around. Hopefully you can see that. And we're going to stick one and we're going to go in here. And again, you could stick it around the stem. It doesn't have to be around one of the pine branches, but it could be around the stem of it as well. It was a short little piece of wire, so we could just fold that right back up. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let's fix our bow. And by putting these tails up top here, see, most of the time when you do a bow, you sometimes have a gap. And you can add an extra loop and pull that loop up top. So like I did 6 loops, I could have done a 7th loop and pulled that one up there to fill up that hole. But these tails make a nice little, you know, thing to put up there as well. You could put a Christmas ball in the middle if you want. I'm choosing not to put any of this up in here. I just don't think it would look good. That's just my opinion. But if you want to, go right ahead. Or if you have something else that you think would work. So let's see. I'll try to hold it up to see, because when I hold it up, I can see where there's holes and stuff. You can pull the branches around a little bit. Fluff up your little tails, your little curly doos. I think we got it. Maybe stick a little red one down in here. This looks like it has a little bit too much greenery. Let's do this one. Now see, it's so close here, so sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull the leaves off to give me a little bit more of a stem. Yeah, that's what that needed. Maybe up here too. Seems like I need a little something up here. This green one is here, but it's hiding underneath. Let's see if that works better. Let's see how that looks here. And sometimes you just have to pull things up because, you know, as you're doing, you're pushing down and it gets a little flat. And if you just pull it up a little bit, I think we'll use this baby in here. I'm gonna make a hole so I don't get all glue all over me. There we go. And if you want to put more green in it, go right ahead. You don't have to have all this red in it, but if you feel like you want to put a little bit more green, I think maybe right underneath this ball. I get them all? Get these leaves out of the way. I probably got some of these hanging off on the floor here. Maybe not. I thought some might have fallen. All right. So I think that's our completed project. So you can see we have our line going down the side, on each side. And then we got our fake tails coming up in here. You don't want this sticking up like that. If you feel that's too long, go ahead and cut it or just bend it down so it's not in your way. I think that came out really pretty, y'all. So again, everything came from Hardworking Mom. I will put everything, all the supplies listed. If she still has them, I don't know. But you can ad lib, change it up, do whatever you want, and have a good time with it. All right. So thanks for coming in Known as Nutty Crafts. Bye. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow on my Facebook page as well as here on YouTube. Bye.